France just fined Free Mobile and its parent company 42 million euros. But here's the part that should terrify you. Nearly 23 million people had their personal data, including over 4 million bank account numbers, stolen and sold on hacker forums because this telecom giant couldn't be bothered to put actual authentication on their employee VPN. Why does this matter to you? If you're a Free customer or former customer, your name, address, phone number, email, date of birth, and potentially your IBAN just became a hot commodity on cybercrime marketplaces where scammers now have everything they need to craft the most convincing phishing attacks you've ever seen targeting your bank account. The breach happened back in October 2024 when a hacker using the name DrosselX broke into Free's customer management system and walked out with 19.2 million customer records, and the company apparently had no idea until the attacker started advertising the data for sale online.
Never has a French company been sanctioned with such a heavy fine of 42 million euros. To give you a point of comparison, that's almost as much as all the fines issued by the CNIL in 2024 combined. We don't know if there's any malice involved, but 42 is kind of a symbolic number. It reminds people of Xavier Niel's famous School 42, and precisely, Xavier Niel was the victim in this case of hacking groups.
How do they explain suddenly being hit with such a massive fine?
There are two main things. First, there's precisely the fact that they poorly secured the data. In fact, it refers to a massive hack in October 2024 affecting 24 million customer records. The stolen information included names, addresses, emails, phone numbers, but also IBANs, bank account details, which can be very problematic. Hackers can use them for fraudulent direct debits. And then there's another important component: communication with the victims. The CNIL believes Free did not communicate enough with the affected people, or in any case, the emails sent weren't accurate/precise enough. To remind you, Free announced this morning that it will file an appeal with the Conseil d'État, Council of State, to contest these sanctions.
A historic fine in any case, 42 million euros. And is this also a kind of warning for others?
Yes, it's an alert and maybe even a preview of other fines to come. In fact, there have been hacks of a similar nature among many other operators, including SFR and Bouygues Telecom. There have also been massive breaches. I'm thinking of the 33 million social security numbers stolen still in 2024 among health insurance partners. So it's an unprecedented fine, but maybe not the last one.
France's Data Protection Authority, CNIL, investigated after receiving over 2,500 complaints from furious customers and found 3 catastrophic GDPR violations that explain exactly how this dumpster fire happened. First up, weak security measures. Free's VPN authentication for remote employee access was so pathetic, it basically waved hackers through, and their systems had zero ability to detect abnormal activity, meaning nobody noticed millions of records walking out the digital door. Second, when Free finally admitted they got breached, their notification emails to customers were so vague and useless they violated disclosure laws because telling people their data leaked without explaining what that actually means or what to do about it is like yelling fire in a crowded theater, then refusing to point at the exits. Third, and this is the chef's kiss of incompetence, Free Mobile was hoarding personal data from millions of former subscribers way longer than legally allowed with no justification, beyond we just didn't feel like deleting it. The hacker specifically bragged that roughly 25% of the stolen records included IBANs, which are international bank account numbers, and while Free tried to downplay this, saying IBANs alone can't authorize transactions, that's adorable because phishing scammers just won the lottery with verified names, addresses, and bank details all in one convenient package. CNIL slapped Free Mobile with 27 million euros and Free with 15 million euros in fines and ordered them to actually finish implementing proper security measures within 3 months. Which begs the question, why weren't these measures already in place before 23 million people got exposed? The agency also gave Free Mobile 6 months to finally sort through and delete all that customer data they've been illegally hoarding, like digital hoarders on a reality show. But wait, it gets worse because this wasn't an isolated incident. This was the opening act of France's Telecom security apocalypse tour. In July 2025, Orange France, the country's largest telecom, got hit with a cyber attack that caused major operational disruptions across their network. Then, in August 2025, Bouygues Telecom suffered their own data breach, exposing 6.4 million customers' sensitive information. 3 major French telecoms, tens of millions of people affected. And the common denominator is breathtaking incompetence in basic cybersecurity hygiene. Free is appealing the fine because apparently even after exposing 23 million people, they think 42 million euros is too steep a price for negligence, and they've got 3 months to prove they can actually secure their systems before Kenil comes back for round 2. The real kicker here is these companies generate billions in revenue annually, but couldn't invest in basic security measures like strong authentication and activity monitoring until after they became a case study in how not to protect customer data. So if you're a free customer, check your accounts obsessively, enable every security feature your bank offers, and maybe reconsider whether your ISP actually values your data or just sees it as inventory for the next inevitable breach.